Thanks for joining us today on episode number 114 of the Tech Sales Insights. Really excited to have Joe Koenig with us, who is president at Worldwide Technologies. And just to save me time as we go through, I'm just going to call it WWT going forward. So
sounds good.
Looks like
one thing too, Randy. Remember, we've known each other for a long time. You have to learn how to say my name right. It's Koenig, not Koenig. Come on.
Koenig.
Oh, yeah.
I have to tell you that in the prep session, not live. Koenig. Jesus.
Well, you never said
I've had that wrong forever. My God, Joe Koenig. Oh.
There you go.
All right. Appreciate it. So for those that are members of Sales Community, thanks so much. If you're not, you can go to salescommunity.com and you click on Winter Free to get a free membership. I recommend clicking on that one as opposed to the paid membership, but feel free to do whatever you want. And we're sponsored today by Gong, who's the revenue intelligence sponsor Sales Community. They've been focused in the call recording area, now going into forecasting, sales enablement. And the kind of analogy I put is, if you think back to the ERP days, you had all these different Sybase, Informix, everybody else. Oracle kind of emerges as a leader, and I think that's the track that Gong is on as well. So if you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out. And you can click on at Sales Community, you can see their logo is prominently displayed, and find out more about them there. So Joe, I think we're trying to figure out, I think we've known each other for 30 years. You've done a little bit better job keeping your hair. But when you started there in 93, I had kind of 3 years left there at EMC. So we think we overlapped, and then I went to go run a VAR, and then we think we overlapped there. And then I had some exec jobs at Storage Tech, Sun, and HP. But I think we both think that HP when I was there, and WWT was such a huge, great partner for HP, is probably where we started work together. And obviously, lots of impressive things. But I always found that you're really fair, responsive, and really just a great person to be around and be with. And it's really amazing how kind of WWT started. Small, probably in some of that Fed area in the SMB, but then really grew to be a trusted advisor to some of the largest accounts. I can remember firsthand kind of seeing that. So places like Comcast, Citi, JP, B of A, and now you've got these huge trusted relationships based on, kind of how WWT can deliver and obviously take care of a whole bunch of complex problems. So that's been really great. And, especially in the charity front in terms of how you kind of pay it forward, pay it back, I guess, depending upon what you want to say. So really cool. And then I've got some from some other friends, have some good comments here. So we'll get your head big for a while. So Bill Hogan, CRO at Beyond Identity, says Koenig is St. Louis University grad, former soccer player there, like many of his WWT friends. Aside from running all business operations, $17 billion, that's insane. Grown WWT. Joe himself is a cancer survivor, which we'll talk about. Currently serves a bunch of different chairs. Board of the chair of the Boys Hope, Girls Hope. Chair of the Boys Hope. I'm not saying that right, am I?
Board chair of Boys Hope, Girls Hope.
Oh, Boys Hope, Girls Hope. There you go. Okay, great. There's too many things here. And then board chair of CEOs Against Cancer in St. Louis, also supported a number of other charities, Siteman Cancer Center, United Way, ALS, Ronald McDonald House. And Bill's very passionate about St. Baldrick's, and you've been a big supporter there. And true to your Jesuit roots at SLU, he's a true man for others. Terry Richardson highlights cancer survivor, one of the original founders, WWT, started the business focused on the Fed business. Amazing, wonderful story of diversification into new markets, as they are one of the largest technology solution providers in the world. Greg Ambulos, channel chief at Dell, says, I've known Joan probably 20 plus years. Incredible leader, partner, most importantly, a dear friend, very strong-willed, hopefully that's in a good way, determined and caring man that is respected by all. Matt Horner at EVP at WWT says, cancer survivor, servant leader, almost 30 years as president WWT, friend to many of the top execs in tech, great dad to 3 boys, wonderful husband and friend to many, humble and yet tenacious. And then we have a late entry here from Frank Roush, amazing leader, authentic friend, strong survivor. So hopefully that makes your day or makes your week.
Wow, I was not expecting that. I'll be honest with you.
Thanks. Could have easily gotten a lot of others, and my bad. I was prepping last night for like around midnight. I'm like, oh geez, I forgot. So they all did it first thing this morning. So anyway, we also have our title topic is perseverance at work and at home. And obviously live in St. Louis, and obviously very focused in work, family, your charities. You're going to be a grandparent in a few months, so you're going to be called Grandpa Joe or Papa Joe.
I'm not sure. I hope it's not. I hope it's something like that, and not something that I do not like to be called. There's some bad ones. There's some bad ones floating around out there. I'm telling my son, don't do it. Do not do it.
There you go. And you've been a big golfer and supporter of golf and PGA for a long time. And this week you also have the St. Louis City Soccer Club, the new franchise, has their home opener, and they're undefeated at 1-0. So that should be exciting as well.
Yes, we're really looking forward to that. The city is really lighting up for this, and it's a new chapter, and really pumped up about what it's going to mean to the downtown area and the city at large. So really, really excited.
Awesome. Just got to get TWA back and have a hub there, and then you can fly everywhere nonstop, right?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun. Well, and on the city front too, with Jim Kavanaugh, who's our CEO, he's a part owner of that franchise. So and Worldwide is the official technology sponsor of that franchise. So that combination is going to be a lot of fun for us at Worldwide, for Jim, but as well as the city at large. So it's going to be some fun days ahead.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. And then just a reminder for those watching, it's LinkedIn Live. So you're either watching and or hearing us. We cannot see you, but you can see or hear us. So some people have already started to chime in with some comments. We've got Tucker behind the scenes that will pull those up. L'Oreal Black says, hi guys. Xavier says, good morning all. Thanks. And L'Oreal says, love your honesty and candid spirit. And Rick Diana is praising L'Oreal Black, I guess. So that is very cool as well. So feel free to keep any comments coming and any questions, and we'll kind of ham and egg back and forth. So your first job back, way back in 1987, was at CSC. What did you do there?
So actually, I worked for a small company that was acquired by CSC called Koenig, and I was a consultant. Started out as an associate consultant, working on a project at Southwestern Bell at the time, and then I moved to a full consultant role for US West was my customer back then, and then moved to a senior consultant and worked with a small telco company called United Telephone, if anybody remembers them, and was really focused on an application called the Universal Dispatching application. And it was fun to learn about technology. I majored in finance, but here I was learning about applications, databases, the hardware itself that it runs on, and then teaching it and training it, and so forth. So I learned a lot about that. That put me in a very good position to when Worldwide Technology needed a salesperson to jump over there and start, in this so-called startup at Worldwide. That was about 3 years into opening up the doors, about an $8 million business. They put me in, like Jim Kavanaugh and I roomed together in college, played soccer together, and he asked me to come over and be a salesperson for Worldwide back in '93. And it was a fun run. I was a sales for the Department of Defense in and around St. Louis. There's not a lot of DoD activity in and around St. Louis, but enough over at Scott Air Force Base here. and then some of the National Guards and so forth are around here. So that's where I started my sales career, was doing that. So it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot about what I don't know how to sell as well. But it was a learning experience, working with about 12 people at Worldwide at the time, and had to do a layoff.
12 employees then.
So, yeah, we did about, at that time in '93, we had about, I think it was like 7 million in revenue, about 12, 15 people, somewhere around there. Then we did a layoff because we lost a big contract that we had. And so we were down to, maybe 10 or even below 10, and then had to start kind of all over it. And we almost, I think Randy, I think I've told you this before, but probably 2 or 3 times the bank was on the way to shut us down for good back in '93. And so it was some real tough times that we went through. And ones we remember, and we can never forget, to really keep us grounded, no matter how successful we may or may not become. Those days will live with us forever, because those were, you were at rock bottom back then. And never forget those points in time, because they will keep you humble as you move forward.
That's it, stole my words exactly there. And then kind of what was your progression? So you kind of started as an early rep, basically, and then ended up key position running the company as president. So what was that progression?
Yeah, well, it definitely helps me only have like just 10 people to move up.
Hey, we need somebody with the title here. Okay, who can we put in here?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to move up, I'll be honest with you. But so I moved from a sales rep to having a sales manager, having people underneath me, to then being a director, running, a number of groups around, say the federal space at that time only. And then I was director of federal, and then moved into a vice president of federal and some commercial business at the time, or enterprise. And then was VP and GM of all sales at that time, and then moved up to the president role in 2002 or 3, I believe, and been there ever since. And so my main job right now is really, I spend all of my time in the sales organization. That is about go-to-market, that's about selling, that's about our professional services, that's about the value play in general. That is where I spend majority of my time. There's another individual, Tom Strump, who is our CFO/COO, and he runs the operational side of the business. So it's been a great run for me. But like I said, you always have that little bit of luck when you work with a small company and you're able to move up effectively in areas, but also hire some real smart people below you that really help move the business.
That's great. So maybe touch on a couple of your go-to-market priorities that you're working on this year.
Yeah, I mean, this year is an interesting one. Like everyone probably here knows, there's a lot of unknowns in the industry right now. What's going to happen? Inflation, macroeconomics. Everybody knows what those are. So I won't go into them. But but where we do see where the priorities of our customers are the areas that we all hear about. Yes, they're still around. Become digital transformation, big one, obviously, that people talk about, especially in times like this today. Also, obviously cyber resiliency, or just cyber in general, about the focus on being secure, and leveraging all the the data that's in and around your networks to help secure yourself around that. Data in general, using that as a platform to help your organization be more efficient, be better as well. And I think some of the areas around cloud, obviously, is a large one. People trying to figure out, should I move my workloads to cloud? Should I not? Should I be on-prem? All the different challenges that we all know about. It's about being cloud smart, not cloud first. And that's where we're focused on. How do we help take that message and ensure that our customers have enough information to make the right decisions for their business, knowing that all businesses, they're not the same. So we're very careful about, prescribing, whether it's cloud and cyber and data, and infrastructure modernization still a play that's out there that we spend a lot of time on, and really ultimately driving technology and business outcomes. That's what we have to do. We have to understand our customers, their care about what's important, their measures of success, and then tailor what our business is all about to create those outcomes. And that's where we spend a lot of focus.
That's great. Do you do anything special to say, value selling side, but, kind of, you always have the tech, your 50 slides of all the technical mumbo jumbo, but do you have any secret sauce that you do that actually helps, say you're selling to a CIO, CTO, kind of helps them go to a CFO and say, okay, don't worry about the technology. Here is that business outcome.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have, we obviously have a bunch of our technology experts, right? I mean, and technology could be the enabler of driving those outcomes, which is true. But sometimes we start from the bottom of the technology layer and go up. And sometimes we start from the outcome and go down. And how we do that is we have our chief digital and chief technology advisors that really help drive that conversation. They're not talking about, hey, let's put in this next widget of technology. Let's talk about what an outcome means to you. Let's understand your business. And here's what we believe, whether it's about, time to market, or it's about reduction of cost, or it's about driving revenue. Here's those outcomes that we want to solve for you. And by the way, in order to do this, we'll need to have this layer of services, this type of strategic consulting, and then ultimately this type of a platform to help drive that. So those are the areas that I think we're spending a lot more time. I tell people, our reps, our partners, and so forth, how we sold 5 years ago, we cannot sell the same way today. It won't work. We have to be thinking differently. Our customers are smarter. The business is changing and evolving. We have to evolve and stay ahead of the curve in order to best service and apply those types of outcomes to drive those areas for our customers.
That's great. So great point there. So besides the obviously technology changing and evolving, anything else that you'd say has changed in the kind of sales process?
Yeah, I think the tools have definitely changed that we have access to, right? I think it literally can make our people smarter, adapt faster, and also message what I think our reps, or I should say our customers and partners, want from us. So I think the tool sets have been great, whether you're talking about Salesforce and all the extension tools that would be on top of that, or one-off type tools that, we use a platform called MindTickle that I think is good to help really drive, I'd say, enable our sales team to be better. Whether they're 101 classes for certain types of technology or how to sell in general, they certify, we make them video, their pitch, they're evaluated by our managers and leaders, and that just makes them better. And so we're finding different tool sets that we believe will position our team to be more effective in selling as we move forward. And then in order to stay abreast of technology and the industry, I always really promote to our sales team, you have to have a passion for learning. If you don't have that passion to learn, then that's a problem because things are moving fast and you need to move fast with them and stay ahead of that curve. So I think having that passion for learning coupled with the tools and then coupled with good partners around us and solid people, underpinned by a culture that is high performing, that's, I think, the recipe for success for us.